Well, hello everyone. This is Robin Carter, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Flower Mound, Texas. And today I am here to share my first alternative video using the June paper pumpkin kit named Life is Sweet. I've got the brochure right here. So before we begin, let me thank those of you that have subscribed to my channel. Thank you so much for your support. And if you're new to my channel, or maybe you've watched a few but have yet to subscribe, I would really appreciate if you would hit the subscription button below. I've set a hefty goal for myself to reach 5,000 by the end of the year. And whether I make that or not, who knows? But if you can be a part of that, I would greatly appreciate it. So also before we begin, I want to remind you that Stampin' Up! Has a great promotion going on this month. Through the end of June, every bundle that is a stamp and die bundle is an additional 10% off. So in addition to the savings of the bundle 10% normally, you'll get an additional 10 on top of that. So if there are some of those on your list, then grab those up before they become unavailable, because unfortunately several of them are already unavailable. But maybe they'll come in before this promotion is over, so keep watch on that at the online store. Also, let me switch to hands down so I can share with you the next quarter of paper pumpkin kits. Let me switch. Okay, so here I am at my desktop. Here is the brochure for the third quarter of paper pumpkin kits. In July, it looks like to be a beautiful kit. It comes in its own little special box. It is a card kit, 3 each of 3 designs. Now, if you've followed my channel, you know I will make a lot more than 9. And the ink spot's going to be gray granite. I assume that's just for the sentiments, but we will see. In August, we're getting an additional stamp set. So that normally only happens in March, which is the anniversary month of Paper Pumpkin. But here we're going to get, it looks like they're showing us some additional numbers and maybe a banner of such. And then, of course, September is an autumn theme, but it's also a card kit. So it's hard to think about autumn here in Texas when we're just heating up, but there that is. Now, let me also remind you that the third quarter add-on dies are already available through the online store. The item number for those is 164991, and this one is going to be a die that should punch out a stamp that's included in that kit. So that'll greatly help to not have to fussy cut that flower. So, by the way, you do have to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber in order to order these refills or past kits. So those are one of the perks of being a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. I do have a June host code that's still going on. So if you do not have a demonstrator, I would appreciate your support using this host code with your online store order. And if I can help you in any way, always leave me a comment, shoot me an email, and I'll do my best to help you. So let's get started. So I'm going to show several things, and as we go along, I will share. So this is what I call my favorite things. So if you're new to my channel, or, you know, I say this every time, so sorry for being repetitive for those of you that watch me every time. But these little envelopes are what I call my favorite things. They help me to keep stuff organized in my craft room. Stampin' Up! Does not sell anything like this. So I am required to tell you I am an Amazon affiliate. So I have links in the video description box of this video. Just click on the more under the title and read the description. And at the bottom, I have links to where you can find these. So as an Amazon affiliate for recommending products, I get a few pennies back at no cost to you. So if you've used those links and find these useful, thank you so much. And if you plan to use those, thank you also. So let's get started with our alternatives. So what you're going to need, so I store these in these little 5x7, my little goodies to share my cards with you guys. So we're going to need a thick white card base, and I'm feeling to see which side is just a hair bigger to put that on top so I don't forget. And then I'm going to bring in half of one of the card bases. Now, I thought I would show you this I mentioned in my unboxing that this would probably work well with the painted texture 3D embossing folder, and it looks great. So I thought I'd let you compare. This one is embossed and this side is not. So that is using this embossing folder right here, item number 154317. So by the way, this is how, once you get your embossing folders, they just come in a little plastic sleeve. And if you throw that away, then you have no idea of knowing the name of that folder. So I always put the name, and if it's 3D, I add 3D. That way I know the folder I need to use is the base plate and my gray plate. So then, of course, because other people may have it when I have in-person class, I always put my name. So, so that's just some little tips to keep your stuff organized. But isn't that interesting? I mean, it just really makes it pop. All right, so we also need the peaches. So I'm going to use the peaches on this kit. Let me dump some out right there. 3 and here's the 4th one. So I'm using one of each color, and the medium size one and the small size. And when I was thinking of what can I do for an alternative, I thought, well, why not put them in a little basket, like a little basket of peaches? So here's what I did to create a basket. And I don't know why I have a shadow over here. Sorry about that, but I tried to get this out while it was still daylight, and the sun's going down, so it's not quite as dark in my room. Okay, so I brought in the Countryside dies, and I'm looking for that whole packet so I can show you the packet of them. Brought this in. Okay, the Countryside Corners, and it is the 4th largest. So I've cut that right here. All right. And then what I did is I brought in my trimmer and I cut off just that top little flap, and then I embossed it with the Kane 3D embossing folder. Okay, now I created another basket to see if I would like it better, and all I did was I took that, this one that I cut off, and I flipped it upside down and put it on this basket, and then I wrapped the twine around it to give it some interest and some texture. So I'm going to kind of build this card, and I'm not going to actually adhere. I have dimensionals on the back so you can get the look of it, and I want you guys' opinion of which one you like best as a basket. So let's get a sentiment. Now, the sentiment that I liked in here was, life is so much sweeter with friends like you. Now, these are the small 3x5 cards. And one thing I do is I cut myself a whole bunch of pre-cut labels so that I have those ready to go. So this is from the, and I put what it's from. This is from the Something Fancy dies. And I need that size in order for it to fit. So let's stamp our sentiment. Now, I really didn't want to, I don't know why, I just didn't think the Shy Shamrock looked that great. So when in doubt, I always go with a black sentiment. And here's my Versamark. I guess I got it inky, but it's still good. And I'm going to get my Memento black ink. And that always gives it a classic sentiment. So let's make sure it's clean. And then let's tap it in our Versamark. And I do that just so the ink adheres really well. Okay, life is so much sweeter with friends like you. And since this is photopolymer, I'm going to do my best to do it straight. And hopefully that's going to be straight. Wrong lid on the wrong thing. Try to put my lids on so I don't get ink all over everything. Okay, put that over there on my chamois. So there is a sentiment for that. Now, one thing I like about the Something Fancy dies is these, if you don't go with the largest one, you can add a border around this. So I'm deciding what color do I think I should do, and I'm thinking Summer Splash. So let me get out my little mini emboss machine because this will fit through it. My little mini boss. Oh, but I did not mention that this month also all the die cutting machines are 10% off. So if you do not have a die cutting machine, I highly recommend these. If it's in your budget, I do recommend the large one because that way you can do any die cut, any embossing folder. These are going to limit you, but it is nice to travel with. So if that's something you want to do, then that's a great addition. All right, so this one has this plate and this plate, and I have my cardstock back here. See if I have a scrap that'll fit. I do have a scrap that I believe will fit, but not quite. All right, so you can see that this is going to limit me. I can't even get that through. So I'm going to need to trim this. I'm going to trim it to this way, and this is what I do to get the most out of my cardstock. I kind of put it on a ruler, and I'm putting it here on my grid sheet. You can't really see that down there as well. All right, and if I want to do it long ways, I know I need at least like 2 1/4, 2 1/8, something like that. So let me get my trimmer out. All right, I've got all kinds of things now in this little bitty space that I'm trying to show you. And I'm just going to cut this at 2 1/8. Okay. Now I can run this through my mini emboss folder. Can you see that? Not that well. All right, there he is. And then you put the plate on. Make sure it's on there since I cut the cardstock kind of chintzy. Okay, we're going to see if I actually like Summer Splash. If not, then I will leave it off. Now, be sure and stay tuned because I am going to show some other products that if you have these products, it would help you make more alternatives with fruit and whatnot. So that goes okay. I don't know if I'm in love with it, but we'll see. But anyway, here was my thoughts for the basket. And the large one has disappeared again. You know, I need to put them back in my little organized envelope, or guess what? Things go missing for me. But I'll put these in there so that doesn't go missing. Surely he's in there somewhere. All right. Well, we'll keep going, and maybe he'll show up. You guys may know what happened to it, and you're like, it's over there. All right, let's get a card base. I know where it's probably at. I did put my card base over here because I had one. All right, let's go ahead and adhere this down to the card. Now, I have thought, do I want ribbon? And I think it's going to mix too much with the peaches. It's a little one. You know, and then put the sentiment up here. I bet if I did something like that, that would look better. So let's go ahead and adhere that. That way I don't have to adhere that. Maybe a peach background on that. All right, so here's what I do. Let's leave enough room in case I do a peach one later. By the way, and always check my blog where I will go and put still photos of the finished cards, all embellished and everything. All right, so it needs to go about there. I'm just going to tape it for now. Just have a little Scotch tape, run it across, and get my sharp scissors for my ribbon. This may determine the basket that I use. That is crooked. All right, when in doubt, you can go with your grid paper. Needs to go about there. So don't move it. Some days just give you more trouble than others. Okay, so it's still not right. Okay, much better. All right, let's adhere this down on our thick white card base. Feel to see which one is bigger. And this little mini bottle is also a part of my favorite things. And I want to give a shout out to Rose Marie. She said, thank you for not only showing your favorite or telling us about your favorite things, but showing us how you use them. So I'm glad that's helpful to you. Okay, so now I'm going to just kind of put these here. Like I said, this may determine with the ribbon which one I'm going to use. And it really drives me nuts when things go missing. But luckily, we have lots more peaches. And when that one shows up, I will put it back in here. So I grabbed a dark peach. All right, and I think I said that I embossed those with the Cane 3D embossing folder to get the basket look. Now, because I put that ribbon down, it may actually make more sense to use this basket, because this basket is going to make the fruit go up much higher. But I don't know that it matters. So which one of those do you like? Here is the one with the little lip. And here is the one without a lip. And I can push those down further. And my sentiment up here. And if you want to, you could add a little peach here. Something like that. So that is my first alternative. Like I said, I will finish it once I hear comments from everyone to see which one you think looks better. I think either one is good. So I'll just put that in its little envelope for waiting on comments from you guys. I like to ask for input on the alternative. All right, so let's get to alternative number 2. Let me put up some things so they don't go missing. Now, these are pretty easy alternatives. So, like I said, this kit did not give us any fruit stamps. It's just sentiment. So, it kind of did limit what all I can do using just the kit. So, you know, we'll just work with that this month. Okay, so this month, or this alternative, I don't want to give it away yet. Again, I always bring in a thick white card base. Set that aside, and then I wanted to use the peach card base, and then I'm going to use these beautiful leaves along with the vellum, and I brought in the hello, but then to help that hello stick out, I went to my Scan and Cut and I made a backing to these, and this is in Summer Splash. So if you have a Scan and Cut and you don't know how to create your own cut things, I can put that file out on my Etsy shop. Just give me a shout out either through email or in a comment, and I will add it. There's quite a bit of fees adding stuff to Etsy, so I only put them out there if you guys want them. So there is that. Now we're going to create the sentiment too, and I have my Stamparatus ready to go with that. Now, I do apologize. This side is for my Unbounded Beauty class. I did a free online class with that, and I still have stuff lined up in case I wanted to create double. But here's what I do. So this is the sentiments that came in our kit, and I punch them all out so that I don't get them all messed up. And they do fit in the little envelope this month. Here they are. All right, so then I put in my stamp right on the grid sheet. Okay, so this one is going to be Sweet Friend. So that one fits on this little one. And then I stamp it. I ink it and stamp it and look to see if it's straight and centered. So that's how I do that. And then that way, when I go to stamp, I can always put them in this one. Now, don't be surprised. You would think they would be symmetrical, but you will find they fit one way better than the other. So I'm going to use a Memento ink. I happen to have a little bitty one. All right, and let's do Sweet Friend. All right, that turned out great, and I can clean it. And here's what I do to help my chamois not get as inky. I always have a damp paper towel that I go along with it first, and then I use my chamois. It just helps me if I'm crafting a lot to not have to go rinse that thing out as often. Okay, so that is the sentiment. Now I'm going to do this one actually landscape style. So let's adhere this peach to the card base. Actually, before I begin, I want to show you why I chose peach. Let me get out the blue one. They, in their kit, used it against this blue one. And I just didn't like it. I don't know why. I think if I were going to put it on the blue, I'd flip it over and use the white. But I don't know why I didn't think those went real well together. I thought it looked much better on the peach. So I would just probably switch those around if I was doing it as the kit recommended. But that's totally up to you, what you guys like. Again, they're your cards. It's your kit. You create what you like. All right, so let's add some Tombow multi-purpose glue to this. It's what we often refer to as the green glue, and that's only because it comes with a green cap. So it's not actually green glue. It's just because of the cap. All right, I do still have it on top. All right, that way I can get it centered. Now, I always like to do 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, just because it gives another little white border, which I think makes it look like you have another layer. Now, I do hate to sacrifice these, the whole thing. I thought about cutting them in half, but I really liked how it looked all the way around. And if I wanted more, let me show you what Gloria pointed out to me. I knew this kit would work with this kit as additional material, but I hadn't quite noticed the die, and probably because it's in yellow and so little. But the dies to this Mediterranean bloom, it cuts out exactly, it looks like exactly this shape from the leaves. So unfortunately, I did look before I started the video, and this bundle is out of stock as a bundle. I think it's the dies that are out. So everyone probably loved that once they got their kit and maybe snagged them up. But again, keep checking the online store. Maybe before the 30th, these will get in, and then you can order the bundle. The bundle number, if you wanted to write this down, is 163295. And again, through the end of June, it would be an additional 10% off this $62. So that would be a great buy. And by the way, this paper is beautiful too. I just thought I would point out. I especially love the blue side. I tend to always like the B side better of our designer series paper. So don't forget, there's always two sides. All right, so there's our base. I've already put some glue dots around this little greenery piece. So I'm going to spend a little time chatting with you while I pluck these off. So I know I got this kit kind of early. A lot of you may not even have it yet, but also if you're interested in refills, they would go out. Let's see, today is the 20th, I think. So it's the first Monday after a 20th in the month. So that would be this coming, well, Monday, if there's refills. Okay, one more. Okay, and then the hardest part, it does help to get something dark, like your Stampin' Pierce mat or something, so you can see where you're setting this down. So you get it even around there. Get it, because it does fit exactly. Okay, so now we're going to adhere this to here. Now, since it is vellum, I do recommend glue dots again, because liquid glue and vellum, I think it would take a while to dry. I haven't ever actually tried with liquid glue. Now, I have some of these larger glue dots from an older paper pumpkin kit, so I'm going to use those. And try to put it where a leaf is going to hide it in case it shows through. You know, I need my take your pick tool. That'd be much easier. By the way, this is I say a must-have. You really don't have to have it, but it helps a lot, especially with these glue dots. If you do not like the fussiness of the glue dots, the take your pick tool is your answer to that. You can see here they come up quite easily with the pick tool option for your take your pick tool. Now I leave the putty end off and use it individually. So that's just how I like to do mine. Now actually I have pretty decent nails, so I'm going to go plucking them off, the backing off anyway, with just my nails. Okay, so there is that part. I have a partial that wants to hang on there. All right, and we're going to put this on the center. So I'm hoping not to get my hair in, but I want this around the center of the card. That's pretty close. Okay, now we want to put the hello on the shadow that I made. And I just thought that helped it to stick out. That's not a required step if you like this alternative. Okay. All right, so we're going to put that one on dimensionals. Got inky finger already. Hope that dried well. And my dimensionals are here. It looks like I need to start a new pack. By the way, I just collect these, and I know we got a different set with this kit, but I just put them in a little bucket and use them as I need them. Okay, and the large ones I do cut in half, so that helps with that. All right, now I want to also put the sweet friend on here and the hello. So I'm going to kind of eye where I want that and set that down. Now the sweet friend, I'm going to work with the liquid glue this time and hope it really works on the vellum, because I'm going to put this down below. There we go. And because I think we have extra peaches, I'm going to sacrifice one of the teeny tiny peaches in the kit to add a little peach up top. Let's see, do I want them over here? That looks cute, so we'll put that there. Okay, you know what? I think I want that on a dimensional. Change my mind. You guys know I love dimensionals if you've seen my videos, so he kind of got lost on there with just glue. Much better. I like that, much better. Okay, so that is my second alternative. Now, as I promised, I'm going to share with you some other products you may have. Actually, I'll go ahead and show you the other one. It's very similar. I just put the peach in a different place. And there's my extra little peach. By the way, you're going to have quite a bit of scraps of sparkly. And if you wanted to, you could make little dots of sparkly to put around your card. If you run out of the embellishments that were included with this kit. So this is my second alternative. What do you guys think? Do you like that? Like I said, I hated to sacrifice these as a whole, but I thought it lost its integrity if I did not. So there is that one. And then I'm going to share some products that you may have around if you want more fruit. And some of them are paper pumpkin kits. So you might find that interesting. Now, I already showed the Mediterranean Blooms bundle that would work if you are new to paper pumpkin or don't collect anything other than paper pumpkin. Or those glue dots. Okay, so I keep my stuff in Evernote. And by the way, if it's great because then I can make tags for certain items like fruit or hellos or thinking of you. So the most recent paper pumpkin that I think I found fruit in was this Pick of the Crop. Now, I've actually hadn't used this a lot until this year, other than the kit itself, because this worked great with the lavender kit. And then this would work great if you need additional fruit for this kit. Okay, so that was from June of 2022. Now, back in December of 2021, we had cherries and a banana. And I did one here. Now, I let my scan and cut that thing because look at that fine little sprig. This one I did with no border because when I added a border, it didn't want to cut out the center. So I let it cut that out. So that's very cute there. And then as far as regular stamps and bundles you may have, there was this So Refreshing that just retired. Now it has teeny tiny lemons and such. And then also retired is Sweet Citrus. And this one has a die set and a hybrid embossing folder to coordinate with the oranges or limes or coconuts I've seen people make into this. So that's just a few others. Now, also online, I think it was an online exclusive because it's not in the catalog. You know what? I could switch back to me so I don't have to sit here and talk to my hands. There I go. It's called Bottled Happiness. No, not that's something else. Let me look. I have it. It's Simply Sparkling. It has like a soda can and lots of fruit. It has cherries, strawberries, and things like that. And so it is a die bundle, which is also 10% off. And I did look and it was still in stock. So it's a fairly inexpensive, it's like $40-something afterwards. So that would be a great addition if you like to make these type of fruit cards. So I hope you enjoyed these alternative cards. I do have more, of course, coming. And if, like I said, the best compliment you can give me is a thumbs up for this video. Share this with your paper crafting friends, and of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you have any questions, I would do my best to answer those. Just leave it in the comments, or you can always shoot me an email. My email address is at the end screen of this video. At the end screen is also a link to my online store, and then there's also a link to how to subscribe. Just hit that button. I think you'll be subscribed. And a previous video, which I'll probably do the unboxing. So if you missed that, that'll be at the end screen of this video. So thanks for joining me, everyone. I hope you get your kit soon if you do not already, and then enjoy your crafting. Bye-bye, everyone.